net.
He's 1 year older.
She had no idea. Hello, North Country soccer fans, and welcome to the George Brendler Field on the 22nd of October, 2018, and it's the new soccer season. It's playoff soccer. Chazy taking on the Keene Beavers. Chazy comes into this game with a 7-7 record. Keene comes into this game with a 12-2 record, if my stats are correctly.
Those are league stats, that's correct.
Okay, I'm Joey Trombley, along with Lee Barcombe himself, Mr. Statistician of Chazy, and the founding father himself, Calvin Castine, is up here in the press box.
Mr. Statistician of Section 7. I'll have you know this guy.
Calvin clarifies that for sure. It's Section 7. And as Calvin is filming right now, you'll notice past the net is the cornfields are now down around the George Brendler Field. And if I'm not mistaken, Lee, I think in past years the cornfield has stayed up through the playoffs and they took it down after, but this year they've gone down early.
Yes, it does seem earlier than normal, but you're going to get no complaints from the ball boys or from Brian Norcross for that's for sure.
It will be much easier to find those balls for sure. So Keene and Chazy have not played each other yet this year.
They have not, but they have played some like opponents. The reason they haven't played is Chazy is a Division II squad and Keene is a Division III squad. Chazy did play a couple games against Division III teams. They played against Crown Point. Chazy won against Crown Point 6-1. Keene beat Crown Point three times, 4-1, 2-0, and 4-2. And then Chazy played Scroon Lake and beat them 6-0. And Keene beat Scroon Lake twice during the season, 3-0 and 2-1. So I would say this should be a fairly evenly matched game, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, Keene comes in here from Division III, a lot of success down there. A 12-2 record is nothing to sneeze at. And Chazy has a 7-7 record, and you may go, that's a 500 record, but they come into this tournament, into this playoffs as the number 1 seed in Division II.
And 12th ranked in the New York State in Class D in Class D. So, yes, they play some tough opponents. They play primarily C schools, and with a couple of D schools sprinkled in. But so I think that's why they got the nod as far as the number 1 seed.
And, you play a team like Lake Placid, you play a team like Ticonderoga, NAC. They play NAC? Okay. You play teams of that caliber, it can only make you stronger come playoff time.
Absolutely. The better talent you play against, the more likely you're going to succeed in state play. So hopefully the Chazy girls will do well. And I'll tell you what, this is not a given, this match at all. Keene is a young squad, but they return a lot of players. They've only got, I want to say, 2 or 3 seniors on their team, which is pretty darn impressive.
Now, the Chazy girls, if they win this game, they make it to championship Saturday at the Plattsburgh High School Sports Complex, and we know who their opponent or Keene's opponent will be on Saturday.
Yeah, the team that's in the championship match at this point is the number 2 seed, Elizabethtown Lewis Westport Griffins, who defeated Johnsburg. Yeah, and Johnsburg was state ranked as well. So that was no small task for the Griffins. They won 3-0.
And then, of course, the Griffins are definitely a rival for Chazy. And do you know how they did head-to-head this year?
I don't have it with me, but I think they split, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. And Keene has played E-Town or has not played E-Town?
Keene has not played E-Town this year.
Okay. So right now we're about midfield, and we just wanted to get that stuff out of the way here early on into the game. We're at 36 minutes, 11 seconds. We have no score. Chazy controlling the ball, and the ball is sent up forward, and now clear forward by, is it McLennan? Okay, Olivia McLennan. Okay, sends it up forward, trying to find the feet of Catherine Langlois, and Langlois has had a pretty solid season this year from what I've seen and what I've heard.
She started out strong, and then the rest of the league kind of learned about her. And so there's a shot from distance from Kyra Becker, just wide. But she puts a lot of speed on the outside, and she's dangerous as far as that. She loves to take the ball to the end line and serve. So that's one thing that the Eagles will hopefully capitalize on today.
And she's an underclassman. She's a sophomore.
Sophomore, yeah.
So 2 more good years left, and hopefully after tonight, an extended season.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be a goal kick for the Beavers of Keene, and the ball is sent forward by Ellis. And it's now picked up on the far side. It's going to be Lucas, Hadley Lucas, trying to work her way down, but it's cleared out by the defense of Keene. forward to the far side, and it looked like it was picked up by Bortoloso. She sends it forward, picked up by Becker. She now goes to the center of the field. Hustling over there is Langlois. She one-times it back all the way to the feet of Stevens. Coming back to Langlois. Langlois outside the 18 trying to cut it in. She's going to take a shot from distance off the end line, so a goal kick here for Keene.
This is one of the things that if you've watched previous games this year that I've commented on, that's one thing that I've noticed Chazy's done a lot, this girls squad, is they've taken shots from distance. So shots from 23 to 30 yards out. Instead of taking a couple extra touches and getting inside that 18-yard box, take the shot. You'd be surprised at the percentage change of success if you get a little bit closer in. And so that's one thing that the girls need to take advantage of and maybe consider in the future.
Well, and so they understand the psychology of that and the logic of that. When you're inside that box and you're ripping that ball, many things can happen. You can get a handball. That's almost a guaranteed goal. It can deflect off the defender off the end line. You got a corner kick coming in. You can screen the goalie because you're closer. More people congested could get by the goalie. So there's a lot of advantages to take it inside the 20. There's sometimes you got to let the shot rip from beyond 18, but it does make a lot more sense to try to take that extra pass, like you said, inside that box.
Exactly.
And the reason we have this conversation, because we know the girls are going to be listening to this game, and we also like to make sure it's kind of a learning presentation for them also.
That was a good service across that Mackenzie Chapman just couldn't trap down and get a shot off. She's a stopper this year, late in the season at least, so she was up playing deep, and good opportunity for her early on.
So another goal kick for Keene, and when you keep saying another goal kick, that's good for Chazy. That means they're putting pressure on. And the ball comes out, deflects it back. On the far side is Kendra Becker. Becker trying to work her way down past Ellis. She's on the goal line. It goes off the goal line, and it's going to be a corner kick for Chazy. So here's really the first set play of the game for the Lady Eagles.
Early in the season, it was Hadley Lucas taking these corner kicks, but as of the last couple of games, it's been Ayana Lemoy. Last game I saw, they scored a goal off a corner kick, so let's hoping they do the same thing here.
Lemoy, nice feed, just inside the box. Gets by McLennan. Cleared out. Laneway sends it back to the center. There's a shot, and that's just what we were talking about, because I believe the goalie was screened on that shot. It went over the net, but the goalkeeper, Sophia Johnson, I don't think she saw that ball, and that was a nice shot by, that would have been by Hadley Lucas.
That was Hadley Lucas, and Sophia Johnson has put up some really nice numbers this year in Division III for Keene. She's only allowed 12 goals all season, and she's put up 9 shutouts, so she's had a solid year back there defensively for Keene.
So the ball's at midfield in the Chazy territory. The ball's picked up by Laura Johnson. She has it knocked away. And the kick forward by Emily Whitney, onto the streaking Megan Quinn. Quinn working her way down the line, sends it to the center of the field for Chazy. It is Callie Harvey, sends it up to the midfield onto the feet of Kendra Becker. Becker trying to find Lucas or Langlois, but it's cleared back defensively and offsides. I think that was offsides on number 12.
It was offsides. Chazy pulled a nice defensive offsides trap there. And that's key. As long as their defensive line speaks and they move together, they can pull up. I think Keene is a quick attack team, and their leading scorer is a central midfielder, number 15, Alyssa Sumo. She's a junior, but it looks like she's playing central midfield. And their second leading scorer is Laura Johnson, and she's playing striker, so we got to keep our eyes on them.
So the ball is picked up by McLennan. She comes back to the near sideline. It's cleared out by Whitney. Picked up by Kyra Becker. Becker over to Langlois. Langlois is taken down. Goes out of bounds, so it's a throw-in for the Beavers. And it is Palin gets the ball into the feet of Johnson, Laura Johnson. She goes to the middle of the field, and she finds Cora Johnson. Johnson up to Ward, and the ball cleared into the Chazy offensive zone onto the feet of Hadley Lucas. Over to Langlois. Langlois to
nice
the open space, picked up by Chapman. Chapman has it knocked away, knocked over to the far side by Laura Johnson. Onto the feet of Ward. Ward has it cleared out by Harvey. Onto the feet of Whitney. Whitney couldn't control it. Now quickly it comes back over to Langlois, and that is a handball. And Calvin, we'll let you know who all the officials are tonight?
I didn't get the far guy. It's the Section 10 guy, Southern Division guy. Maybe Brian knows. It's Jeff and Barry Norton know.
We got
Third guy.
and the other guy. He's like the third tenor.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, there you are. Calvin doesn't know who the third tenor is either.
Below us, so Brian Norcross below us. Might be one of the Lee boys.
So it is Kendra Becker. Nice hustle by Amelia Ellis, but quickly the ball was back into play.
Southern Division guy. It's one of the Stalls.
One of the Stahl brothers, I guess.
Younger Stall.
Younger Stahl. All right. So the ball will work its way off the end line. So not really any major scoring chances with the 29-minute mark here for either team. Control of play has favored Chazy.
Seems to, yeah. I don't think that Keene has had an even attempt at shot on goal yet. Chazy's had a couple of attempts. We did have a substitute coming in here, Celine Juno coming in for Hadley Lucas. And just to mention again, Chazy, in case you can't read on the jerseys, Chazy is in the green and white, primarily green, and Keene is in the white with the orange lettering.
And I know we've discussed this before, but somebody's just watching this game for the first time. Usually you see the home team in the white uniforms, and what changed this year, Lee?
I think the fans want to see the primary color of the school at home more often, and you see that in pro sports as well more often now, in hockey especially, as one thing comes to mind. So they decided this year to go with the primary colors at home and the white jerseys on the road.
And I kind of like it,
Me too.
because you don't see a lot of. We've never really seen a lot of the green jerseys.
It's different, and it's. I agree with you. I think it's a good change.
And so it's a
Steve Stahl.
Steve Stahl, Brian Norcross has shared with us the third official that Calvin did not know, or we did not know, was Steve Stahl. And we got to give kudos. I mean, Norcross is down below, but he's done a wonderful job with this field, Lee. And I think Brian is pretty happy we haven't had the monsoon rains that we've had in past years.
This was a particularly difficult year, as most of you would know, at least to those that live around here, as far as the dryness, the drought that we experienced pretty much all summer. To keep this field in the kind of shape that it is a pretty impressive task.
Well, you have these Class B championships are being played here Friday, and in the past couple of years they've had to move them because the field was just soaked with water. And I think if it stays like this, they're going to even do some regional games here.
That would be really nice.
That'd be the first time I think that's happened.
I agree, and it's not always. It's always, in my opinion, always better to play on a natural surface than it would be a turf surface.
And we have Brian Norcross down below, and Brian, it will be our first time ever having a regional game here at the field. We have regionals.
Plattsburgh we posted here, because usually when Plattsburgh's in it, they can't play on Plattsburgh.
This is probably the best the field's ever been this time of year.
I can't believe I'm going to say it, we could use some rain. I've never said that before.
I never thought I'd hear Brian Norcross say that at the end of October. He wants rain.
Well, it was spitting snow last night.
Yeah, it was. Be careful what you ask for, Brian. You have to get that little tractor with a plow on here. So right now we're at the 26-minute, 12-second mark. There is no score, no shots on net. The only thing we have on the scoreboard is one corner kick for Chazy. So a pretty evenly matched game up to this point with a little territorial control to Chazy.
Yeah, the only real attempt has been the shot from Hadley Lucas that went over the top of the net off of a corner kick.
Yeah, and I think what they're doing here, I think when they count a shot on net, it's what's at the net.
Yeah, absolutely. So.
Well, you hear different people that keep scores different way. Like if you have a shot on net and it's wide or it's just over the net, it's a shot on net. So when you add it up, it would be like the goalie made 10 saves, 2 goals, and there were 20 shots on net. That tells you that 7 shots were wide. But I don't think they keep it that way.
They should. It's very subjective. What they should change, and here's a good opportunity for Juno in the box.
There it is.
Tried for service, it bounced off the defender. It's going to be a corner kick for Chazy. So what for me, they should change it instead of shot on goal, shot toward goal or shot at goal, and that would give you a better opportunity. If it's an intended shot at goal,
Right.
then you count it. But it's entirely subjective, and a lot of times it's high school kids that are working down there that are keeping track.
Sure. And Lemoy sends the ball back in, deflected by Becker, or actually McLennan off the end line. So
She's the one that scored last game off the corner kick. Something very similar to that. It was a one-time touch into the side panel. So
Chazy had a bye to this point, or do they have a game?
that's right. They had a bye because they're the number 1 seed, so
Okay.
they had a bye. Just to mention the substitute coming in, Hallie Cook for Keene, and coming off was Camille Ward.
Okay, and Cook is the sophomore, and Keene does have a young team also with a couple freshmen and sophomores.
Here's Chapman.
Says it knocked away. Becker will rip the shot from distance, and Johnson's there, holds her ground. But that was a hard shot from distance there, so not a bad shot.
First test of the keeper's hands, so
Yes.
nice low hard shot is a good way to test.
So far side, it is Cook who just checked into the game, and she cooks it forward to the feet of number 12, Johnson. Johnson working her way down to the far sideline. Back there defensively is Callie Harvey, and it's knocked off of the Keene player, so Chazy will have the throw-in at the 23-minute mark. Ball in play at midfield, and out of bounds. Chazy moving the chain, if you will, 10-15 yards at a time. Ball's back in play. Gets by Becker, but onto the feet of Langlois. Langlois cutting it back to the middle, keeps it simple. Got it onto the feet of Chapman. Coming to the near side, over to Langlois, makes a nice move. Sends it forward defensively. Keene is there. And the ball was out of bounds. It did come off the foot of Lynn Palin.
Lynn Palin, a strong defender she's played a couple years varsity now. I remember her especially from last year. She had a good defensive game last year.
So ball out of play, a deep throw in for Chazy. Ball comes in. Ball kept in by Keene. And it's a goal kick deflected off the Chazy player.
So a couple new faces on the Chazy squad out there. Some junior varsity players that have been called up end of the season. And number 6, Celine Juno, is one of them, as well as number 9, McKenna Bell, and number 17, Emma Smith. So 3 junior varsity players that have been called up to the varsity team to kind of bolster the core out there.
Very nice. So you said number 6. Okay, she's only a sophomore. Okay.
Yep.
So Langlois trying to cut it to the inside, defended very well by Quinn. Quinn sends it up to the near sideline. It's picked up by Johnson. Sent back toward the 18. Coming over to help. Picked up. Oh, here's a chance for Chazy.
There it is.
Shot scores! And Willow Hertz comes in. She could see that play develop. She came in to intercept that pass, Lee, and she put it away.
It's the vision that Willow has that was nice, and that she saw the ball coming through, and a nice play by Amelia Stevens to set that up. She's going to get the assist on that, I believe, with that long ball coming through, and just a nice placement of the shot, nice and low, just to the side of the keeper.
And now we have a great vantage point up here, but you could see Willow see that play develop, and she put on the afterburners to get by the defensive player. I'll give credit to Keene. The defender, the fullback on this side, was running over, but Willow had the speed to get it, and
Speed and the angle.
It.
Yep.
Yeah, and she put it away. So that was at the 48-minute mark in the first half. Chazy takes the first goal, and as we know in playoff soccer, Lee, that first goal is so important.
Absolutely. When it can boost your morale, and it can really demoralize the other opponent. So something Chazy can't let up now. They keep foot in the gas, and they'll do fine.
Yeah, I mean, we still got half of the half left in the first half, so Chazy's got to keep doing what they're doing. They can't even be thinking about going into a defensive mode at this point. They got to be doing what they're doing because it's been working. They've been controlling the midfield for the most part.
Exactly.
So, Lee, it's good to be back in the booth with you again. It's been a little while since the Labor Day tournament.
It has been, yes.
The weather's a little bit different this time around.
I guess so. It's been really nice. I mean, and just so everybody knows, it's unseasonably cold right now. As we mentioned earlier, snow flurries last night, and we're October 22nd.
And I think it's high 30s right now at game time.
Yeah.
It was like 41 or something when I drove over here.
Dipping into the low 30s probably tonight later on. So freeze warning in effect. So grass will be crispy out there, and the girls have got their leggings on to keep their legs warm.
Only in the North Country can you go from a 60-degree day to a below freezing day.
Absolutely.
That's why we love it here, Lee.
Yes.
We get all 4 seasons in 3 days. And the ball goes off the end line. So a corner or goal kick for Keene. And Calvin, it's nice to be back in the booth with the founding father himself, Calvin Castine, back doing what he does best.
Shiver.
Well, you got gloves on. I took your cue, so I brought gloves too. But I'm actually very impressed because I see 2 Modial Expo hats here between Lee and Calvin. So are we going to see them back in Montreal?
Let's hope so.
In the American League East?
It's been good luck, and Calvin and I have talked about that a bit. And I think maybe with Poissant one day up here in the booth, we talked about it some. So that would be the best fit for him, American League East.
Oh, my God. Every game would be like 40,000 people.
I think they'd do well.
They'd be half Canadian, half Expo fan, half Red Sox or Yankees or Toronto fans, but it would be a lot of fun. So here come the Eagles. And they're saying goal kick. So coming back into the game is Hadley Lucas. And, you had the JV player Celine Juneau get out there. And kudos to her for a playoff soccer game, for the coach to have that much confidence to put her out there early in the game.
She was the JV captain this year and leading scorer on the JV squad. I only know this because she's my niece.
Yeah.
So
actually, I think I got a dozen donuts from her too, or something. They got some fundraiser going on.
That's right.
I got to pay your mom when I see her next.
But yeah, she's a good little player. She's got a good engine, so she'll do well.
Ball is cleared up. It goes off of the feet of Lemoy, out of bounds. Throw in for the Beavers, and it's Cook with the throw in. She gets it onto the feet of Quinn. Quinn can't control it, so a throw in for Chazy, far sideline. And the snack shack is open. I see the old Mickey fries are going strong across the way.
A little bit of a little physicality on the far side that the Keene players aren't fond of, and the doesn't help that the Chazy boys kind of egg it on a bit over there.
They wouldn't do that, Lee. They want to egg the girls on. One thing I've always been impressed with between the boys and
Kyra Becker.
Again. She rips a shot. What I've always been impressed with is the support both teams give each other.
Yeah, that's small school for you. I'm sure you see it in the bigger schools also, but everybody knows everybody, and so you go to class with your friends, even if they're not in the same grade as you, you know them pretty well. So yeah, support is a big thing in a small school.
So the ball is sent back forward. It is now coming to the near sideline. Nice hustle by Johnson, Laura Johnson. She couldn't get there. The ball made it off the end or sideline. Now controlled by Lucas. Lucas cuts it to the inside. It deflects. And Becker, there is a collision. 7-on-7. Lucas and Quinn, but they both get up. And the ball's cleared to the outside, picked up by Lucas. Lucas trying to send it across. It deflects off of Keene, so we have a throw-in for Chazy.
And here's another difference between the Division II Northern Soccer League and the Division III Northern Soccer League. The Keene players are a bit rattled out there by the physicality, and that's normal play in Division II for Chazy. They're just used to that. You're running through balls, shoulder to shoulder kind of situations, and I've seen a couple of Keene players kind of raise their arms and like, why is there no call? But this is state play, and that's what happens in state play. As you know, as you get further down the line, it gets more and more physical.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth. If they think this is physical, they haven't seen anything. And here's an opportunity. Hustling back is the defense, and I tell you, some nice hustle by Callie Harvey.
She covered up her misstep there with good speed, and Mackenzie Chapman was coming back to help too.
So there's a long kick forward coming off the line for Chazy is Emmy Moak. And she's very athletic into the net. As it's the first time I actually see her out there this year. And just in warm-ups, I could tell she was a very athletic goalie.
She's done a nice job coming in relief partway through the season. One thing that she needs is a bit more confidence and a bit more assertion back there. Like, for instance, that ball should have been hers. She should have come out and been aggressive and taken that ball. But
that will come with more time on the field.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we have the battles of the sevens again. Goes on to the feet of Quinn in the box. This could have been dangerous, but Laura Johnson couldn't control it. If she could have just one-timed it down, she might have got a hard shot off.
She was left all alone. I'm pretty sure I saw the offsides flag go up on the far
was
side.
that it? Okay.
But I'm not. Yeah, I didn't hear a whistle. So
we have 15 minutes left in the first half. Chazy leading 1-0 on a beautiful shot by Willow Hertz. And that would be a handball. And Barry was right there. And I want to give a shout out to the officials, Lee. These guys do a wonderful job, and we're very fortunate they're willing to come out, especially when the weather gets colder. And I know they get paid for these games, but they do take a lot of abuse out there, verbal abuse.
no question, they're often underappreciated.
And just want to make sure that we give them their kudos because they do an excellent job.
Yes, absolutely. Tough environment, no question.
Well, I mean, there are times up here we may question a call because we don't quite understand their angle, but not in a bad way.
Yeah, and they need to know that we're never wrong. So.
Oh, yeah, well, of course. Well, Calvin taught me that years ago. He goes, when you're up here, you take control of it and you let them know that we got the angle. We don't care if we're 75 yards away.
Nope, doesn't matter.
We got the angle.
We can always run the replay.
That's right. That's right. We have instant replay up here. So that's going to be a
corner kick.
Yep. So it's a third opportunity. So Lemoy running over.
After the screen.
But, you know, as a player, you know this. It's cool when you get in that game. You don't realize it's cold anymore.
No. The only time you notice it is when you take a direct shot and it stings a bit.
Well, that might be.
But your adrenaline takes over. Oh.
Yeah. That was cleared out. Try to be cleared out.
That's why you wear shin guards right there.
Yep. And nice pass in here by the Keene Beavers.
Look at the speed Hallie
The
Cook.
Lyle couldn't get to it. And Cook is, she's a sophomore for Keene. And a foul on Chazy, so we have a set play direct kick coming up for Keene, just shy of midfield. So 12:51 left in the first half. Chazy leading 1-0 on a Willow Hertz goal. 2 shots favor Chazy, none for Keene. 3 corner kick Chazy. There's been none for Keene.
Caitlin Lopez to take the direct kick. She was one of the leading scorers last year for Keene, so she finds herself as a sweeper this year.
And in small schools, that happens when you lose players to graduation. That you saw that here. You see it on the boys program.
And any coach will tell you one of your best players on the field has to be your sweeper. Most skill, speed, and determination. Here's Laura Johnson.
Yeah, here she goes. She can be dangerous if she can get that shot off, but defended well. And just from what I've seen of Callie Harvey, not only tonight, but from the Labor Day tournament, she's a solid defensive player back there.
She has a year under her belt. She played last year as a freshman as a sweeper, so she is a solid young player with lots of room to expand her talents.
And with 2 more years on her belt, she has a nice long high school career coming up. There's the shot off her line. There is no danger for Moak. She just saw it drift in. So she takes it on one hop, and she'll work her way to the 18.
That shot was taken by Emily Whitney, whose sister, you may recognize the last name, Hannah Whitney, was one of the leading scorers in the region for several years. So that's Emily, Hannah's sister.
Yeah, Hannah was a perennial all-star down in Division III.
Emily, get forward.
Paling let it clear it off. Nope. Now it's cleared off.
So Keene can be dangerous if they get through that defense, but it's almost like they're playing for an opportunity goal.
I think they're a transition team, and you've seen the speed of Hallie Cook out there, and Laura Johnson has good speed and a good shot. The interesting thing is we haven't really called Alyssa Sumo's name at all, number 15 in the midfield, and she is by far their leading scorer.
So that's one of the questions I was going to ask you earlier. Who is one of the players that Chazy really has to be scared of? And,
That's
that was 15.
Alyssa, she's got 21 goals and 9 assists on the season, so she's one of the top scorers.
She's been a non-factor tonight so far.
Thus far, yeah. There's a shot from distance from Hadley Lucas.
So she hustles back, and now it's cleared to the near sideline. So you and Calvin are going to be doing some games this Saturday if the teams make it.
Yeah, we'll do Friday.
You're
Right,
going either
we'll
way.
be there regardless.
Okay.
So yeah.
And also Friday, right?
Friday the B will be the B games here at George Brendler Field, and Saturday will be the D games, boys and girls championships at Plattsburgh High School.
But it's not just for hometown cable now. There's a big change this year.
Yeah, they're going to be live streaming. It is still the hometown cable crew, so you'll have Calvin's expertise behind the camera, but it'll be live streamed, available NHFS network. And it is a subscription service. Right now, they've only got monthly subscriptions available, and I believe it's $9.99 a month.
Yeah, $10.
It's unlimited. You can watch whatever
For 30 days.
for 30 days. You can watch whatever high school sports they have on there, and they're going to be doing, as far as I know, most of the sectional championship games throughout the state.
And then you have Rick Hunter helping you. Is it Rick Hunter?
Yeah, I believe so. Rick he used to be a typing teacher here.
Here's
at
an
Chazy.
opportunity.
Got
Offside.
offside flag up. So nope.
Well, the Keene fans thought they had something there, but the whistle had blown.
Yeah.
So, okay, so go back to what you're saying about...
So Rick Hunter, he's from Northeastern Clinton. He was a teacher here at Chazy. Back when I was in school, he was a typing teacher, and he actually failed me in typing. So we'll have some... We'll have some words about that, perhaps.
It's going to be WWF here in the broadcast booth. I can see that coming. So that's what the real pay-per-view is.
Yeah, perhaps. So, Rick's going to help out with his technological expertise as well as his sports expertise. So it should be interesting.
Yeah, Rick does a nice job announcing. So that's great. And I'll be out of town, and I will have to invest the $10 to watch the game and hear you guys go at it. And, save that confrontation till halftime. I want to see the game, the first half. But so that's something new and different to the North Country. And so if you can't make the game, you can watch it live if you stream it on the internet.
And then, if you missed something live, you certainly can always watch the replay on Hometown Cable.
And here we go. This is the chance. And there's a rip. Nice hard shot by Megan Quinn. But she did nice work over there, even on the deflection of the defensive player to get to the ball. And just a nice effort, but Lemoy was there.
So good pressure here from Keene. That was Megan Quinn is the second leading scorer this year for the Keene squad. So she's no stranger to finding the back of the net.
Well, she had some oomph on that shot, so that I can see why she was number 2.
Substitute coming in, Celine Juno, and coming off Hadley Lucas.
So Juno, just called up from the JV squad, is getting some decent playing time here in the first half.
And because she's here, the king and queen of Chazy are here too.
Oh, you've seen them on the camera?
I saw them in the parking lot.
You did? Okay.
At least the Queen is here. I was surprised. The King's birthday today, so he's here celebrating his birthday. There's some speed from the youngster.
So, Calvin's talking King and Queen. What's that all about, Lee?
The old Lions Club Chazy Old Homes Day. Every year they crown.
I'm glad you clarified that. You started out the old.
They crown a king and queen every year, and this year happened to be my mom and dad, Jerry and Noreen Barcombe.
So they're watching their granddaughter out there
Celine, yes.
right now. Beautiful. Small town, Lee. Small town.
That's right. Oh,
So
that
here
looks
we
like a
go.
handball. Here's Juno.
And the ball sent forward. Juno's inside the box. She has a nice speed. Oh, and there's a deflection.
It's going to be corner kick.
It's going to be a corner kick. So nice work by the Lady Eagles inside the box. So was Celine the top goal getter for the JV team this year?
I'm pretty sure she was. Don't take me on gospel truth for that, but I know she scored a ton. And she played central midfield there for him, so she's playing a bit out of position here as a striker. But she's happy to play wherever coach puts her.
And the JV team did well this year?
They did fine, yeah.
Now, are they playing all the bigger schools too, or they have schools their size they're able to play?
They play a lot of B schools, actually.
They do?
They
Okay.
do, yeah.
So here goes the corner kick again. Lemoy sends it up. Oh, hits the ground. There's a rip.
Through the keeper's hand.
Oh, went through the keeper's hand but did not cross the line. And that was a nice rip by who on the far side?
Mackenzie Chapman, who took a good hard shot that snuck through the hands of Sophia Johnson, but she got enough of it to keep it from crossing the line.
Let's put it this way. Johnson did her job.
Yeah, she did.
She didn't let it go by.
But that seems to be something that Chazy can probably cue on. There's a nice cross by Juno looking for far side.
The ball's deflecting.
Hers over there battling. There's McLennan just wide.
Oh, wow. From here, I saw the back of the net, but it was the far net go back and forth. I thought it went to the side net.
It was close. So what I was trying to say was Chazy may be able to capitalize on the back door, because that's how they scored their goal. And then another opportunity right there with Mackenzie Chapman coming in on the backside with rifling a shot that almost got through and into the net. So.
Well, Keene had a moment, 2 or 3 minutes, where they were dominating down here. A nice hard shot on Lemoy. But overall, the number of chances have definitely favored
Dangerous.
Chazy. Oh, wow, what a shot. High lofting shot. And Johnson made a great save there.
Very nice save on the Kate Langlois lofter. She was going to upper 90. And nice save. That's a tough save for a keeper to make.
Yeah, it is. But that's the goalie who's played that position, knows her line, knows where she's at, and did a great job. There's another low shot, deflection, another corner kick for Chazy. So the last 5 minutes, Chazy has put some really strong pressure here on the Beavers.
And I like the low hard shots. Those are the ones that cause the most trouble for a goalkeeper, no question.
There's a shot coming in again. Ball landing, and it's cleared out by the defense. Stevens for Chazy sends it back forward. Good job defensively. Number 15, Sumo. But you know what? Coach Signor did her coaching job, and she has made, so far up to this point, Sumo irrelevant.
Yep, that's what coaching and scouting is all about, is knowing your opponent, devising a game plan around your opponent to take them out of their regular game, make them uncomfortable. That's the name of the game, strategy. And capitalize on your opportunities.
Absolutely. And in playoff soccer, you have to capitalize on those opportunities, because there's no tomorrow. There will be a winner, there will be a loser tonight, somehow, some way.
Yes, sometimes it takes a long time to get there, but
it will be decided.
Yes.
And of course, we're approaching the 2-minute mark here left in the first half. Chazy leading 1-0. But it comes down to when you make it to the final game. I know we've had this conversation before. I'm just not a big fan of co-champions.
No, I agree. Yeah.
You decide it on the field, and if it's penalty kicks, it is what it is. They do it in World Cup soccer.
Yep. It is a thorn in the side of a lot. You talk to the boys last year, for example, the Chazy boys who shared a title with Mount Academy and
Jasper Trooper.
It's
before that.
Just not the same as winning it outright.
Right. It's nice, but there's just something about winning it outright.
There's a lack of closure on the season.
Yeah. But that's premature talk. But it's.
The The other thing that's different about boys and girls soccer in New York State is if it goes to overtime, the girls can score as many goals as they want.
They have to play 2 10-minute.
They have to, and one team may score 3 goals. And
You've seen that happen before.
Yeah, we have.
You know, the teams are tired. They just aren't defending as well. And then the boys, it's over with. Goal scored, the game's done. So another corner kick. So, no, it's a goal kick. I thought we were running over to the corner here. So we're under a minute. And in some aspects, Keene is probably lucky only being down 1-0. It could be a second goal in there.
Yeah, in Chazy, Emmy Moak made a real nice save also on a shot taken by Quinn. So it could easily be 2 or 3 to 1. And it's going to wind up likely being 1-0 here. There's less than 30 seconds left in the first half. But here's a good opportunity. Here's Laura Johnson.
Here we go.
Good service.
And nice clear out.
Hallie Cook was sneaking on the backside there.
10, 9, 8, 7.
Lemoy's doing very well tonight here in the first half.
She's a solid player for Chazy. They'll miss her terribly next year.
Well, that's that senior leadership, right?
Absolutely.
So the first half has come to a conclusion. Chazy leading Keene in this semifinal action game 1-0 here at the George Brendler Field. All right, we're starting the second half, and there's 40 minutes left here in the second half. And if Chazy can keep the same kind of control that they had in the first half, Lee, I like their chances.
I agree. This is Section 7 Class D semifinal. So winner of this game will go ahead and play Elizabethtown Lewis Westport in the championship for the Section 7 crown.
And if it's Chazy winning, then they're going to face their arch rival, and it doesn't get any better than that than on Championship Saturday at Plattsburgh High School.
No, so many years of Chazy playing against the E-Town Lions, and then most recently E-Town merged with Westport for sports, and the Westport, I can remember having some pretty serious competitions against them over the years as well. So,
and I mean, and we aren't being presumptuous, with this game.
Oh,
could
absolutely
definitely go Keene's way, no doubt about it. It's just, you take a team like E-Town and Chazy, more often than not, they play each other 3 times a year.
Yes. And it's awful hard to, they say, awful hard to beat a team 3 times in a season. And we were just talking at halftime that I'm pretty sure that E-Town and Chazy have split this season, each winning 1-0
on their home
turfs.
Yeah, so they won't have that pressure of beating somebody 3 times.
No.
So that theory will be out the window. So the ball is cleared forward, and I guess I better grab the rosters here, Lee. So Chazy controlling play into Keene territory, just outside the box, and the shot sent forward by Mackenzie Chapman. And the goal that Chazy scored, Johnson really didn't have any chance on that.
No, it was a well-placed shot by Willow Hers. Nice low and hard, just to the side of the keeper on the ground. So the only way she'd have had a chance at that would be if she were able to dive straight down quickly, and not many keepers can do that. And There's an offsides trap played beautifully again by the Eagles.
So Chazy's done a good job so far tonight, pulling the defense back and getting the Keene girls offside.
And it's the senior leadership primarily, I would say, of Ayanna Lemoy and Amelia Stevens back there, and the experience of Callie Harvey, who's done a nice job as well defensively for the Eagles.
Oh, they're very strong defensively. And there's some nice hustle by number 6, Belial.
Pressure. Good.
And Lee, it's amazing what these dollar glasses can do from the pharmacy. You can see the roster.
doesn't help that we don't have much light up here.
No, we got to kind of throw it on off. I get in Calvin's way sometimes. I'm just trying to look at the roster. The ball sent back toward midfield. It's picked up by Becker, Kyra Becker, onto the feet of McLennan to Kendra Becker. Outside her foot, sends it forward, but it's cleared out quickly. Stepping up is Stevens. Lemoy will take it to the outside, trying to find the feet of Hertz. And it's McLennan trying to control. She ends up with it. Trying to send it forward, deflected. Lemoy sending it forward off the head of Becker into the 18.
Lopez clears it away. Lopez is the sweeper back there, and she's taking control, clearing all these opportunities that the Eagles are putting in the 18.
The ball quickly comes into play by Lemoy. She's trying to find the feet of hers, who has the only goal of the game tonight for Chazy, who lead 1-0. So the ball comes in by Johnson, Cora Johnson, controlled by Mackenzie Chapman. Chapman cuts it back, goes out of bounds, throw in for Keene, and it is Haley Cook. Chapman onto the feet of Becker, Kendra Becker. Trying to cut it to the inside, a little physicality, and that's playoff soccer. Becker sends it across. And there's a weak shot by McLennan, but a shot nonetheless, but Johnson was there.
I think she was a bit surprised that the ball fell right to her foot, and she didn't get a good foot on it with a shot. So.
No, it's not the shot she wanted to take. So far side.
And so let's assume
yeah.
Maybe a little bit of a personnel change here for Keene going into the second half.
Well, just you can see that speed she has just in that little burst right there, and because she was definitely a non-factor in the first half.
Right. Well, like you mentioned, Joey, it's do or die at this point in time. You're potentially down to your last half of soccer for the season, so you need to make some adjustments, and that looks like that's possibly what which Coach Johnson did for the Keene squad.
And Celine Juno back into the game. Coming out is Willow Hertz. So the ball cleared by Callie Harvey, far side. Out of bounds, throw in for Keene. What's amazing to me, Lee, is how fast the soccer season goes by. It just seems like yesterday we were doing the Labor Day tournament.
Yeah, it's a month basically, a little over a month, and it really moves.
Yeah, I mean, then you're into the you're in the playoffs at that point. Well, if you look at it, it's been about 2 months if you count the preseason.
Yeah.
Nice play. And that was Langlois getting the ball up over to Lucas. And a nice give and go from Langlois to Lucas. And the ball goes out of bounds. So quickly the ball comes in play. McLennan to the end line, and it's cleared out by the defense.
That was a nice defensive play back there to break that up by Amelia Ellis, who came over and took control and knocked that ball out of play.
Ball in. And it's Becker back to Lucas.
Oh, that's a handball, my goodness.
Oh, they wanted the handball, and none will be called. Did he call it?
I think he did. It's just outside the box.
Okay.
Basically will be a short corner kick.
So, yeah, this is a very dangerous play if you're a Keene defender. Great opportunity if you're a Chazy fan. Ball comes in. Off the head, that went off of Caitlin Lopez. So a corner kick coming up for the Eagles. And as you have said, Lemoy is taking the corner kick. Here it comes in. It's on the ground. Cleared off to the side, and it looks like Whitney sends it forward, trying to find Lopez, or Sumo. Sumo has it knocked away, or knocks it out of bounds, throw in for Chazy. Ball back up the line. I guess if you're a player, you really don't like to keep the ball on that side of the sidelines. You go up and down with the fans screaming at you.
Some players thrive on that. Others are intimidated.
So it's Langlois, far side. Some nice footwork. Takes it into the offensive zone. Still with the ball.
For support.
Finds Juno. Juno now sending it to the open space. Hustling up there is Becker. Becker does a nice job sending it across. She out-hustled Lopez to the ball. And out of bounds, throw in for Chazy. Some nice pressure from Chazy.
If they can put the small ball short passes together, that's going to be key. Here's an opportunity for Juno.
Sending it back just outside the reach. Becker left-footed trying to get it in. There's a shot, screen, and nice try. Johnson was screened for a moment, but it was wide, so she got to the ball. Wide of the net, that is.
30 minutes remaining here in regulation. Chazy holding a 1-0 lead on a first half goal by Willow Hurst.
And as Calvin taught us many years ago, it's not 30 minutes left in the game, it's in the second half. Regulation second half, because we know what can happen in soccer.
Doesn't take long for the ball to find the back of the net sometimes.
No. I will say this, if Chazy can find the back of the net one more time, I'm liking their chances.
Yeah, at that point in time, they can concentrate defensively.
But I don't even think they even need to do that, because Keene hasn't really shown consistently the offensive output to put that ball in the back of the net. I think they just keep doing what they're doing.
The key is to hold the midfield, and Kyra Becker is doing a nice job for that for the Eagles so far. She's battling hard with Megan Quinn out there. It's been a good battle of sevens.
Oh, yeah.
Like you mentioned
Absolutely, the battle of the sevens. And the way the pressure's coming on with Chazy, I think there's at least one more in them. It's just, and you've done enough of these games too, Lee. When you put that kind of pressure on, it's just a matter of time normally.
Yeah, all it takes is a mistake sometimes, and then somebody finds the ball on their foot, and they don't make a mistake putting it in the back of the net.
And that's a dangerous play.
Did you hear about Saturday's PHS action? 11 yellow and a red. Out of control. Jim Karen did a great job right from the beginning. The teams were out of control.
So the ball is controlled by the Beavers. And it's Sumo, sends it toward midfield. Stevens does a nice job stepping up and holding her position. Gets the ball up, trying to find hers. Hers trying to control, she does. But it gets a little too far ahead of her, but a nice job by Ellis to clear it out.
Ellis has done a nice job back there. Ellis and Lopez done a nice job in the middle of the defense for Keene.
So the throw comes down the sideline. And that is going to be a deep throw in for Chazy. And it's going to be hers with the throw in. Ball's inside the box. There's a shot. And that just near post, but a good try.
I think it caught Sophia Johnson off guard. She was late moving on that ball, and luckily Kendra Becker pulled it just a bit wide.
Ball comes forward. And good job by Lemoy. And that would be Captain Lemoy. Hers. Nice play by McLennan. Over to Becker. Going across. There's the shot. Johnson's there. So it's 8 shots to 1 in the game up to this point for Chazy. Stevens on the far side. Defending Johnson. And Johnson's got a little limp working right now. But when you're a senior, you're not looking to the coach to come off the field.
Not at all.
And she's playing for her high school career right now. For her team first, obviously, but
Right.
she has 26:30 left here in the second half. And I think you can see that with her. And I know Sumo's only a
She's a
junior,
yeah.
but we call her name a little bit more the second half.
Yeah. The only two seniors on the squad are Laura Johnson and Caitlin Lopez. So that's pretty impressive that they put together a 12-2 record with only two graduates that are going to leave the squad.
That just tells you what the kind of team they're going to have next year.
Yes. Yeah, key players for the team, obviously, with a sweeper and one of their leading scorers, and I'm sure she's one of the captains. But just the same, it's nice. The experience that these underclassmen are receiving is invaluable.
Absolutely. And, it's no easy task to make the trek here to George Brendler Field, and more often than not, the team does drive away with an L on their schedule, or on their record, and so it's not easy to come here and win. Now, there have been some losses here for Chazy over the years between the boys and girls, but not that many.
Yeah, I would overwhelmingly the results have been in favor of Chazy. And it was a good opportunity we just had there. Olivia McClendon was taking a left-footed shot that she just fired wide for the Eagles. So the pressure's still on.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing here the second half. They haven't let up. They've been doing what they've been doing the whole game, keeping the pressure on, controlling the midfield. Had a few shots on net. They also have 8 corner kicks, too, as well as 8 shots. Keene has 1 shot on net, no corner kicks. So there's a nice through ball. Becker cutting it to the inside. It's Becker. And coming off the line was Johnson. Off the head of Quinn. Stevens battling. It is Chapman. All over to the feet of Kyra Becker. She'll go to the outside. Nice play. Here comes Juno. With some
Langlois.
Is that Langlois? Oh,
Yeah, Juno came off.
Oh, really?
It's hard to tell the 6s and the 8s, though.
Okay, well, that's why my glasses don't go that far. So it's okay, Langlois. The shirt was just it looked like a 6 from over here.
I'll tell you somebody who's impressed me this year a lot, just because she's been a solid defender, is Amelia Stevens. And
Yeah.
she's put some assists on the board as well, and at least 1 goal that I can recall. But she's played a really important part as a senior on this squad, solidifying that defense.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, during the Labor Day tournament, she was rock solid out there, and she hasn't lost anything as the season's progressed. So Chazy still has the ball into the defensive zone of Keene. So it's almost like Keene is respecting them too much defensively.
They're not applying much offensive pressure at this point, but they have released Sumo to play more of an offensive role, I think, in the second half. She hasn't just been able to get her foot on the ball, which maybe is a good thing, is showing what a good job the Eagles are doing in the midfield.
Yeah, I mean, because they're controlling this game.
Mackenzie Chapman's had a heck of a game as well.
Nice right idea by Hers. Chapman back to Hers. Hers controlling. Now switches fields to Langlois. Langlois cuts it to the inside. Nice play by Langlois. She's got that speed. Langlois did exactly what you said, Lee. Oh, nice effort. Taking it to the 18. They did that on that play, and nice play by Johnson, but they were making the defense a little nervous back there.
Yeah. Here's an opportunity. Callie Harvey.
Yeah, not with Harvey back there. I don't think so. I think Callie's saying this is our home turf here. You're welcome here, but you aren't welcome back here. So we're approaching the 21-minute mark. Chazy still hanging on to that 1-0 lead, and hanging on is probably not the correct word. They're still leading 1-0. They have been controlling the tempo of this game. So back is Hers. Hers trying to. Ball stayed in. Ball stayed in. So Lemoy now takes it off the defense. She takes it off of Sumo. Now Juno's back into the game.
Yeah, taking Lucas off. So throw in for Lemoy for Chazy. 21 minutes remaining here in regulation. Chazy's still leading 1-0.
Ball sent forward. And it's kicked right here toward the press box. And quickly, Hers gets the ball in. Goes over the head of Becker. And that was Kendra Becker. Back there is Harvey. Nice job outside of her foot, trying to get over to Hers. Nice play by Quinn, or Cook, Haley Cook. And it's cleared out by Lopez. Down the line. Ball sent forward.
A lot of bunching up again, and that happens with these teams. They use their wide fields. That'll certainly help open things up.
And the ball's out of bounds. Throw in for Chazy. Ball's farther back. Lemoy calling for it.
Sir, you're off by like 2.5 feet. Where's the site administrator? Upper net. Joey Trombone.
And Sumo sends it forward. And coming off her line is
Emmy Moak.
Moak.
Good ball.
Oh, Juno goes down. Stevens, nice job. To midfield, sent forward by Cook. Controlled by Quinn. Langlois far side. Trying to work her way past. Langlois not backing down.
She does not back down, and she's taken a few fouls over the course of the year because of that, but she will not be pushed around. There's no question about that.
That's what you call a competitor.
That's right.
There's nothing wrong with that. It just lets the other player know we have a little bit of respect going on here.
That's right.
As long as it's done within the confines of the game, it's all good.
In at the right moment.
And
And make sure you don't put your team in a bad spot.
Now, you've never done that in your playing
I-
career in hockey or soccer, have you?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Be careful, because Calvin does have film. I saw you post something on Facebook, the hockey
I did.
days or something.
I was watching a game from back in 1990. Northeastern Clinton put the whoop down on me.
You were in goal?
Yeah,
So how bad was the whoop down?
7-4.
Oh, well.
Yeah, we were winning 3-1.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Ooh. And how many years ago was that?
1990.
And you still remember that?
Oh yes.
We have a tendency to remember those bad games, don't we?
No question.
And it's getting a little more physical out there.
Yes.
We're under 20 minutes, so I think Keene is starting to feel the urgency a little bit. And you know, nice play again by Harvey. She didn't panic, just a nice little simple pass, ball sent forward. And Chazy's playing a very disciplined game tonight.
Yes. That's one thing they do well. Coach Signer's got them very well disciplined, and they play within structure for the most part, and they're well coached.
So we have there was a foul on Chazy, or was it out of bounds? It was a foul. So we're under 17. So it's safe to say at this point, Lee, whatever next goal is will be a big goal.
Absolutely, no
for
question
both
about
teams.
it.
If Chazy scores, I think they pretty much will guarantee their ticket, punch their ticket to the championship game. If Keene can score, I think you can pretty much guarantee we're going to overtime.
Yeah, we'll have to fire up the space heater and try to keep ourselves warm up here in Calvin's Coop. That's what we need, an upgrade up here. We need a space heater.
Yeah. I'm all for that.
Here's
Getting it done's another thing,
Yeah.
but I'm all for it. You know, like the fire department's like worried about some fire or something. Oh,
a foul. I don't think that
wow.
was.
That was just body to body.
I think it was a trip over the ball, but regardless, it's not a necessarily dangerous spot.
But in fairness, he's closer to it than we are.
Yes, yeah, and it's a judgment decision, and Mr. Norton felt it was a foul. So
A foul it is.
Foul it is. Direct kick. It's Caitlin Lopez to take it. And there's Amelia Stevens making good on the foul that she was called for.
Yep. Defended well. Did her job. Bounced back into Keene territory. Coming over was a number 5, Ellis. And going down hard was hers. Taken down hard by number 5, Ellis. And Ellis is only a freshman.
She's a limping, and she's an important part of the defense. So
Yeah, she
hopefully
is.
she can shake that off.
And she's shaking it off like a senior. She's getting back out there. And nice play by Juno to Langlois. Back to Becker. Becker trying to find Langlois into the Chazy territory. Harvey's there, calmly just sends it to the outside. Onto the feet of Becker. Becker controlling. Becker working her way down, sends the ball forward. She gets it on to Kendra Becker, her twin sister, out of bounds. Throw in for Chazy, far side. We're approaching the 14-minute mark in the second half. Chazy leading 1-0 in this semifinal game. The winner of this game punches their ticket to Championship Saturday at the Plattsburgh High School Complex. And the winner of this game will face the E-Town Lewis Westport Griffins. And I better throw Lewis in there. Calvin's here, and he always corrects me if I don't throw Mr. Lewis in there, or Mrs. Lewis, or the Lewis family. But we got him there, Calvin.
Okay.
I knew the camera was on me. A lot of pressure on that one.
Always. Less than 14 to go. Here in Keene will have a goal kick.
So the shots on net favor Chazy 8-1. And the one shot that Keene had, it was a hard shot by Quinn. But Moak was there. Kendra Becker trying to take it to the inside of the 20 or the 18-yard line, but Palin's there defending. Ball sent forward, cleared out over the foot of hers. And Sumo sends it forward. That'll go out of bounds. Nice play by Harvey, letting it go out of bounds. Substitutions. So we have Lucas checking back in, Juno checking out. Goes off the head of Lopez, picked up by Kendra Becker. Trying to work her way down, cuts it to the inside. Trying to find Lucas. Lucas now cuts it to the inside, back outside, inside. It's Lucas doing some nice footwork onto the feet of number 5, McLennan. McLennan trying to get a shot off. Becker trying to get a shot off, and that's deflected off the defense and wisely cleared off the sideline. So a throw in for Chazy.
It's a really enjoyable battle watching Megan Quinn and Kyra Becker battle
7
out there. All game.
It sure has been. Those two players have been very competitive with each other. Chapman sending it forward. Harvey controlling. Nice play by Harvey. You have a comfort level up here watching the game with Harvey back there. You know she's just going to do her job and maintain control back there.
Throw in deep for Chazy. I got a feeling Kyra Becker's going to put one in. Just my gut.
All right,
Just
we
my gut.
heard from Lee Barkham at the 11:40 mark. Lee Barkham is calling for another Chazy goal, and he's calling Becker, and he's calling Kyra Becker. So it's number 7, and I think Lee's figuring she should probably be rewarded for her battle with Quinn. So we'll see if it's going to be Lee the Greek or maybe Joe Namath calling the big victory back in '69, was it? I think.
Super Bowl 3, whatever it was.
Yeah, it was Super Bowl 3 against the Colts, the mighty Colts.
I think it was 69.
Broadway Joe made the call. Can we get the same impact tonight with Lee Barkham?
I think it's the same year the Mets won the series, 69.
Yeah, it was a great year for New York.
Yeah.
Somebody other than the Giants and the Yankees.
Good opportunity here. Direct kick, and Ayanna Lemoy standing over top of it, waiting for players to get in position, top of the 18.
Yeah, Lee's saying, look for Kendra, look for Becker, look for Becker. Ball comes in. That was a nice feed, though.
It was the right idea. The timing was a bit off. They were running toward goal, but they didn't get there in time to get a foot on it prior to the keeper picking it up.
So ball goes to the outside. So tomorrow night, Lee, I'm assuming, and Saturday, or not, yeah, tomorrow night, and then Friday. You doing Friday and Saturday also?
Yes.
So you have 3 days.
Yeah, 4 games Friday and Saturday. Tomorrow night I can only do part of the Chazy Scroon Lake game.
Okay, and you're going to take over the role of the play-by-play, I'm assuming.
Perhaps, yeah.
Okay.
I'm comfortable doing that.
Yeah, you do a great job with that. What's different, when we do it with Calvin or you do it on the radio, it's a much different game. You don't have to call every single movement out there because you can see it on the camera. Radio's a little different.
It's nice to call the names because families like to know who's touching, especially if they don't watch every game. They don't know who every girl is.
Right.
And the away teams, I like to hope that they watch Hometown Cable and support Hometown Cable, so they like to hear their names called as well. So
absolutely.
It's for me, it's an important part of the game.
It is, and you definitely want to do that through the course of the game, but it is a different game than on the radio.
Yeah, you don't necessarily need to explain what's going on as
right.
offsides.
Right, exactly.
That's the correct call.
So we're at the 9-minute mark. Ball sent forward again. Oh, here's it. This is going. Ooh. And the reality is that Laura Johnson's been offsides quite a bit tonight.
She is, and perhaps she's just looking to, for that one time where she'll be considered even by the ref, and then she's off to the races. You have to take that chance.
She can be dangerous. There's no doubt.
A lot of the great goal scorers in the world, a lot of the great strikers in the world, you'll see they'll often be called offsides a lot, and then they have that one opportunity where they spring free and they make no mistakes. So it's a strategy sometimes that's employed by strikers.
Well, Chapman pushes it back to Lemoy. She'll now send it forward onto the feet of Kendra Becker. Becker has it knocked away by Belial. Far side, Lane Lloyds cuts it to the inside. The boys are showing their approval over on the far side. Has it knocked away, cleared up, and it is Harvey. Far side line, right down the line. And the Lady Eagles are putting up a good effort. They got a corner kick. And so Juneau's getting a lot of playing time coming up from the JVs, so Coach Signor has a lot of confidence in this young lady.
Yeah, and she's taken Kyra Becker out in this instance. Kyra looks like she picked up a knock maybe there. She's a little bit of a limp coming off.
Well, can't keep her out too long. That's your goal scorer. So we got to get word out to the coach that she got to get back in the game.
Looks like a calf cramp.
Yep. Those are never fun. There it is. Scores on the heel shot. And that was a Becker. It was number 14, Kendra Becker.
I don't know exactly. It was the original shot was taken by McLennan, and I don't know if whoever attempted the back heel got a piece of it.
We're going to find out.
What a play.
We're going to find out.
Well, they're giving it to McLennan.
So it is. So it is McLennan from Lemoy. So not Lemoyne not only having a great defensive night, comes up and gets an assist.
Yeah, that's a nice goal that, like you said, will help to solidify the confidence of the Eagles here with 7 minutes and 12 seconds left, second half. Nice, and the crowd is singing the Ole chant over there.
Well, I mean, barring some miracle, I'm liking Chazy's chance right now. I will still say there's only 7 minutes left in the second half. I won't pull a Joe Poisson, and I'll never put a fork in it like Poisson did that one time at the state level.
It brings back heartache.
And I just want to go on record, Calvin. This is another game that Joe said he was coming to that he didn't show up. So I think he's had 3 strikes and he's out this year.
Well, it's definitely going to impact his contract renewal.
Well, I mean, he called me specifically yesterday to talk about this game. And I said, come on up. I said, Lee will be here. And I go, we'll just have a real good time.
He doesn't like Lee, that's why.
Well, I think he got intimidated by Lee is what I think happened.
I think so. I can't be in the same booth with that guy. He's just too good.
Yeah, one time the Fish was a fixture up here.
Yeah.
Now he's just a memory. You know.
Yeah. He created the Butternut Squash Award.
Yeah, he was the creator of the Butternut Squash Award. That was big doings. The kids really enjoyed that year when we brought him down, got him on film, and we gave him the Butternut Squash Award.
The good news is Kyra Becker's back in the game, coming back in. Juno's going back out.
Well, that's good for Becker. Yeah, saying those cramps are no good. I usually get mine in the middle of the night. Oh. It's not on a soccer field. And here comes Chazy. Again, trying to press. And what I like here, Lee, is that they're still pressing. They're playing like it's a 0-0 game. Do you have any update on the boys' game?
I do. This is old news by the time you watch it, but Lake Placid and Seton Catholic are going to penalty kicks.
Wow. So they're going to. So they played 2 15-minute overtimes. If I'm correct.
You are.
So. Very interesting. Okay, so Johnson with the goal kick under 5 minutes. Chazy with a 2-0 lead. They are definitely in the driver's seat, and they're playing like they're tied right now. And that was pushed off by number 7, Quinn. And that will go out of bounds. So it'll be a throw-in for Keene. So E-Town Lewis Westport won earlier today against Johnsburg 3-0. They punched their ticket earlier to Championship Saturday. And if the score stays true with 4:24 to go in the second half, Chazy will move on as they lead 2-0. So if that score stays the way it is, both teams will be going to the championship game coming off shutouts. So it'll be a very interesting championship game, especially when two teams have played to 1-0 victories on their home field. And, of course, they're playing on a neutral field at Plattsburgh High School. So that will just add to the excitement of the game. And the ball is sent forward. Becker goes forward trying to get to the ball. Cleared to the outside. And cut to the inside. Another nice play. Chazy doing a nice job. And she still has a ball. And Johnson comes up big, but what footwork and moves by number 14, Kendra Becker. And Johnson came up big with 3:29 to go.
Yeah, that was there was a bit of determination there in Kendra Becker's demeanor going to goal on that.
She wanted that one.
She wanted that, but a nice save by Sophia Johnson.
Great save by Johnson. That was just all heart and motivation and tenacity, whatever you want to call it. But she made a great effort on that play. So we're at the 3-minute mark. Ball's at midfield. Chazy with the throw-in.
George is still here.
And the legend himself, Coach George Brendler, is still staying to the end of this game. And his familiar seat, it seems like every game's up in that same spot, isn't it, Calvin?
Yep.
He gets here 2 hours before the game to make sure he has the best seat in the house. You know, or he shows up 5 minutes early and people just move away.
They just move away.
Either way, he gets
like
the
Moses
seat.
parting the sea.
Right, exactly. There's a shot wide, so a goal kick. And that just kills about 10 seconds off the clock.
Looks like Coach Signer's getting some of her reserves up to come into the game, get a little taste of the action. It also takes a couple seconds off the clock each time you make a substitution.
Sure. Now, are you getting updates on each kick or of the Lake Placid Seton game?
No, I don't have that, unfortunately.
I thought you had that type of power.
Not everybody is as dedicated to the results as I am, so I'm just happy to be getting the updates that I'm getting.
So another goal kick. Clock's winding down. We're under 2 minutes. And who checked into the game?
That was Victoria Miller coming in and coming off Hadley Lucas.
Okay.
Victoria Miller Sr. for the Eagles.
Well, that's nice. She's getting, because, well, at the end of the day, this is all their last game at the George Brendler Field, when you look at it that way. And Chazy can, the seniors can say their last game on the George Brendler Field was a W. There is one way to get back on this field at the end of the year.
Yes. There's a shot on
There's
goal.
a shot. Oh,
Hers.
Johnson is
Another
there.
nice save
Yeah.
by stopping Willow Hurst from getting her second of the game. But, yeah, to get back to what Joey's alluding to is whenever the team wins the state championship, there's a nice reception here at George Brendler Field once the bus returns
The
from
light comes
Middletown.
on for the last time.
That's right.
And it's usually below freezing temperature, but the fans do come out
Absolutely.
to welcome the champions back. Again, we're being premature, but if history is any indication, that's what happens.
Yes. And we're down to about 35 seconds left here in this match, and we'll go ahead and call it. Chazy's going to advance Saturday, the Section 7 championship against Elizabethtown Lewis Westport Griffins for the Section 7 Class D girls championship.
And not only will it be obviously for the sectional championship, but it'll be bragging rights between both teams for this year, because they both split this year.
No question about it. It's always a good game when you can play against the Griffins.
Absolutely. So the countdown's on. Congratulations to Coach Signor and her Chazy Eagles. They came into this game as a number 1 seed, 7-7 record-wise. Keene came into this game with a 12-2 record, and they gave a very valiant effort tonight, but the Eagles of Chazy were just a little too much for them. So Chazy will move on to the championship game, as Lee just said. And Calvin Castine is on the camera, the founding father. I'm Joey Trombley with Lee Barcombe, and as Calvin likes to say, that's the way it was in beautiful downtown Chazy.